because of social media, I think that's kind of like the era that American sports are transitioning to, which I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing either.
I don't either.
But it's like, it's also found, that's because we got to play that song though, but that they song that I'm talking about is jumping. Neymar. I'm not gonna lie, it's lit, but it's like, I just know now, like, God knew what he was doing with me, because I personally couldn't handle that.
Right,
like 100,000. Hey, yeah.
But I think though, from a coach's perspective, you know, I think that is also important to let your players know that like the perception is not your reality.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you also get social media. The good part about it is, I think that it can hold you accountable.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So you can set a standard, and you can control your control your own reality or your perception to the public.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, you're not gonna please everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you can't. If you do one thing good, you know what I mean, do another thing good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and then do another thing good. And that way, and so if you're always checking and see who likes it, but also you got to be careful, because when you put stuff out there, for everybody to see.
Yeah, it can be good and bad.
I mean? Then you just open yourself up to judgment for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, so are you able to take that criticism?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what's your reality?
Yeah.
So are you and then you got to understand, you got to have a why.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why do you do this?
Right.
Do you play a sport because you love it? You know, do you play a sport for monetary gain?
Yeah.
You know, do you play a sport for, you know what I mean? So I talk to players all the time about why you do this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Why do you do it?
Yeah.
And if you have a why, that why got to be stronger than what somebody that you don't even know, what a follower, thinks. You know, I could put some on Instagram right now, and somebody could heart it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I can get excited as I could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or put something on Facebook and somebody can thumbs down it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does that ruin your day?
Right.
You know what I mean? But you can also turn that thing into a motivation too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can JJ be the best defensive attacker in the NFL?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? And he knows that if he don't think that he can, then you know I'm gonna be in his ear asking what's wrong with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
What's wrong with him? Because guess what? Somebody think he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But I think he is, and I think he can be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's get in the lab.
Yeah.
If he doesn't feel like he is, then he won't be.
Then he won't be. You know what I mean? So he's gonna let somebody else tell him who you are. You're not gonna let somebody tell you who you are, or we never won't have this podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Y'all not gonna let nobody tell him who he is. You know what I mean? Or he would have been stuck on the depth chart at the first school he was at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, playing linebacker instead of being a 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, so you see what I mean? So like, you can listen to the outside noise. You know what I mean? Or you can create your own reality.
Yeah. I mean, how many people do you think are actually doing that?
I'm just telling you from like the coach's perspective.
That's what I'm saying. I'm asking like this question from that. It's just like, how many people do you feel like it's the majority that people are thinking that or having that guidance with social media? Because one thing that also comes with social media is everybody compares themselves.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like with that is like, how many people do you think are using social media, or because what comes with social media is comparison, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it comes to this thing is like, do you think people are using that as like motivation, like I gotta go get it because he's going to get it, or it's like they're looking at it as like, oh, I can never be like that. Mind you, half the stuff on social media fake anyway,
right.
So that person may not even be that lit. That catch was on accident.
Yeah.
I think it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is strictly because for somebody that's looking at social media, you're looking at social media like, bro, like, this dude doing this, like, he's doing this, like, man, he got all the followers and all that. Like, at some point, it's going to do two things. Either you're going to shut it down, or you're going to rise to, like, you know what, bro? I want that to be me, you know? So, two things going to happen there.
Yeah.
And so, that's why I think, like, this, like, the whole social media thing, like, it's good and it's bad. Because some people welcome it.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And if you welcome it the right way, hell, social media is a great thing.
Yeah.
If you welcome it the right way, use it the right way, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
Also a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because just like Coach said, like, everybody see the highlights, but at the same time, you're not the only one that got a camera.
Yeah.
When you miss the game winning touchdown,
Mm-hmm.
or I miss the game winning sack, or
Yeah.
I make a mistake. now everybody see that too.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, how do you? Well, I guess how do you like handle it, Dan? Found when it's like you go on social media, and I mean, it's not to say that you do this, but like put yourself in a like this scenario where it's just like you might have a sack against whoever, right? And you had a sack on the Chiefs, and you going crazy like and they you know what I'm saying, they shouted you out or whatever, right. But then daggone Max Crosby came in there, same sack. He is the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me. It's like that's not to take a shot at Max Crosby. You are a GOAT. You know what I'm saying? But it's like how do you keep this right here when a piece of everybody has at least a small ego. Where it's just like, fam, like I did the same thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's easy.
Yeah.
Think about what, and like you said, shout out Max. But think about what Max did to build that pedestal.
Correct. Okay. Yeah.
And the highs and the lows he had, and like, you know, just how his story and how God blessed him, and starting him from way down here to get into the league. He didn't have to go back down with his life situation and stuff. To now he's this elite ball player that he's been the whole time. But he had those courses in life that he had to go through. And like how you saying, and when you talking how he relied on his faith and people around him, got him through that so that way he can keep maximizing as a player that he is. So all the stuff that he did before that, built that pedestal to lead up
get him to. This wasn't an overnight kind of thing. And I think it's lit too though. It's just like that you come from that you have that perspective to be able to identify that. So it's just like it's almost easy for you to answer, right? But it's so crazy because you, like you said, Dad, just going off of social media. There's guys that are not who they think they are. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's not the NFL. That's NFL. That's college. That's high school. That's business. That's this. That's that. Like you got some dudes that feel like they whatever, and they not. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that same concept that you just had. I know so many people that's like they don't think like that.
They don't care. Even if they know, they don't care enough to be like, they're gonna be like, well, I don't care about his process. Yeah, we just made the same play.
Yeah, right? And then there's some things that people do. They like the question, the original question you brought up was like the instant gratification part. Yeah, you know what I mean. Some people don't understand the work that goes into it. Yeah, like some people don't know. They see the video, and the video is 3 minutes long. Yeah, you know what I mean. Or worse yet, on Instagram, how long is a reel? 90 seconds.
Yeah, anywhere from 5 seconds to 3 minutes.
So they see a 3 minute reel, and they was like, got it. You know what I mean? Right. Mm-hmm. And now you put in 3 minutes worth of work. Mm-hmm. Don't realize that you was out there for 5 hours. Yeah, you know what I mean. You went and lift weights. You done went in condition. You done went and ran. You done cone drills. You done bag drills. You know what I mean. You went out there and you out there 5 hours and you exhausted. Right. You know what I mean. Just to make that moment. Just to make that one play. Yeah. Right. You know what I mean. And for everybody to go crazy about. Right. You know what I mean. Right. But they out there doing that 3 minute drill. Like, I got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. And I think it's crazy because that right there, what you just said. I think the guys that do the, like you said, the BS, like 3 minutes of work, like, and feel like, okay, now we got it in today. Mm-hmm. I feel like those are the guys where it's like, I feel like there's a level too of like level of risk. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like playing, I think there becomes a point in time where like playing it safe. Mm-hmm. Like if you're not prepared, you have to play it safe. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I think you have certain guys that's again, let's go like Crosby. Like he's going for the ball, fam. Like he's. Don't get it twisted. He's trying to get the ball back. Right. You know what I'm saying? Or let's switch over like the DBs. Like I tell a lot of players, like, let's go back to high school. I tell a lot of players, like, I talked to one kid. I said, hey fam, how many interceptions did you have this year? He said 0, because he was upset that these guys are getting all these offers and he's not. Mm-hmm. I was like, how many interceptions did you have last year? He said 0. I said, how many PBUs did you have last year? He said 15. I said, so you touched the ball 15 times with your hand? Yeah. He said, yeah. I said, imagine if you caught him.
Right.
You be committed to Bama. 15 picks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's at the same.
It's just that simple.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
And it's like the work that you put in. It's like guys are willing to risk more because it's not a risk to you. Exactly. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's all the way through. So it's like it's crazy that I think that's the only negative. Well, not the only negative. I think that's the big negative because I'm a huge fan of social media and what it's doing to sports. I feel like that's the only negative is like it convinces guys that are not first of all, not that.
Right.
And second of all, not working hard or working out for 10 minutes. I'm talking about something, man, I got it in.
Right. I even saw a post the other day. This was insane to me, but that might be my old school side coming out too.
Yeah.
Was I saw a graphic. You know how kids do like commitment posts.
Yeah. Oh, I know where you're going with. Yeah.
And
my God.
it was a graphic. And it was stadium in the background, football stuff. You know, it was really nice. It was really well done.
Yeah.
Shout out to whoever did the graphic. But it would say committed on the bottom in these like Victorian letters and everything. Kid showed the back of his jersey with his name on the back of the jersey. And he was left from so-and-so this place and went to this other, is going to this other place.
Yeah.
The kid was 7U.
Yeah.
7U.
Them 7Us can't get a jump in?
How do you commit from one youth team to another youth team?
What you mean?
You know what I mean?
NYSA on here, baby. Raiders stand up.
Raiders stand up.
Yeah, I'm 7U. You committed to what? What are you getting for this? You know what I mean? So he's him already at 7U. Like you could be a legit 7U player, and I get it. Develop the kid and help him, but keep him grinding. But I'm not going to do a social media post for 7U going to another team.
Yeah,
but that goes back to that gratification.
But how do you tell that kid that you just threw a parade for switching teams for whatever reason it is?
Mm-hmm.
To put in the work that Max Crosby put in, to put in the work that JJ put in, to put in the work that Josh put in, to put in the work, you know what I mean? Like how do you keep that motivation going? And that's me from a coaching perspective, a guy that's been doing this for a long time. You just say that he's not him,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or to keep pushing him because, you know, right now he's made it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just told him he's made it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I don't like that right there. That's the social media. That's the instant gratification thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, you just showed him that, man, you made it, because it's not always going to be like that.
Yeah.
Because Bama, what happened when Bama or LSU or Georgia, you know what I mean, or Indiana that just won the national championship, don't come get him.
Yeah.
I mean, that also goes back to the instant gratification, but the two, what we asked earlier was, like, how many people do you think are actually getting that type of guidance?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that kid probably doesn't have anybody in his corner to tell him that. And it's probably not even the kid that I can almost guarantee was the parent that posted the post.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's 7 at the end of the day.
I guarantee the parent, the kid, 7 years old, didn't do that graphic. That graphic was legit.
Right.
That graphic was legit. That graphic was nice. I was jealous that I didn't have that done for my kids.
Yeah, but you're putting all that pressure on a little kid to live up to an expectation that he might not even want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's 7 years old, and now you're telling him that he's the greatest. I mean, the best thing since sliced bread. You know what I mean?
Right.
And those are the adults making the perspective of the kids their reality, like almost living through your kid too much.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't. I mean, I can almost guarantee they didn't ask the kid, like, do you feel comfortable with this being put out there?
Right. Yeah.
Because I know the parent is getting gratification from other parents, like, you
did
big
that.
one. Right, you did your big one with this.
Oh, man, you
good at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, in my opinion, I feel like more often than not, the situation is the guidance is misleading.
Right.
Rather than the person actually having the right tools. Like, even when it goes back to, and it's kind of a little bit different, but all these jerseys behind us, you know what I mean? People that we've been able to interact with in person, you know?
Yeah.
And it kind of bothers me a little bit. And I wouldn't necessarily say bother, but like when somebody else walks in here, they're like, well, this is the craziest setup ever. You know what I mean? Like, wow, like amazing setup. Like, I wish I had one of this, or something like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I see it regularly. You know what I mean? Like, this is just the life that we live at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like my reality is not the next person's reality. You know what I mean? Like in that scenario.
No, 100%, 100%, man. Look,